Welcome to Vlogmas Day 20. Today's video is going to be part 1 of my eyeshadow palette declutter. These videos are always very intimidating, which is why I decided to split this into 2 parts. We're going to be going through half of my eyeshadow palettes today and half of them tomorrow. I'm going to be getting rid of as much as I can. I have way too many eyeshadow palettes. I have a ton of colorful ones, which although I still like to reach for color, I don't need 50% rainbow eyeshadow palettes anymore because on the daily I am going for neutrals, so we've got a lot to go through. As you can see, there's hundreds of eyeshadow palettes here. We'll have a final count, but I would love for you guys to comment your guess down below on how many eyeshadow palettes I have, sort of like guessing the number of jelly beans in the jar. We have all of these eyeshadow palettes, but wait, there's more. I also have these, which are in my current everyday makeup drawer. I have these Ofra ones here and here. I have a few eyeshadow palettes in here. I'm not going to be decluttering any of these because these are in my everyday makeup drawer right now, and I just updated this a couple days ago. So this is all staying, but all of this will be gone through. And just to like give you guys a peek at the amount of product that I have decluttered so far throughout my makeup collection declutter series. There's a lot going on here. So I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a like if you enjoy these declutters. It really helps me out so much when you guys like and comment on my videos. So we're gonna stop rambling and we are going to go ahead and get started. So I have plopped you in a spot that I think is going to probably be the most optimal angle, at least for now. It'll probably move around a few times throughout the video. So we're just gonna like randomly go for eyeshadow palettes. There's literally like, there's so many. I'm like scared to know how many there are here. So let's just start. We're gonna start with this. This is from Makeup Forever. I don't even know what this is called, but what I do know is that this is extremely old. It's cream product. There's stuff in here that shouldn't be here, and it smells terrible. So this is going to be our first product that we are decluttering. Just tossing that in the trash because that's probably like, I don't even know, like 6 years old. I see a few other palettes that I can definitely declutter. We have this Megan Thee Stallion collab with Revlon. This is one that I have too many eyeshadow palettes. I love eyeshadow palettes, and if I'm getting rid of them, odds are it's just because I have too many and I have ones that are similar or similar color stories, or just, I don't know. I'll let you know if I don't like the eyeshadow palette, but if I still have it at this point, odds are I enjoy the eyeshadow palette. This one I haven't ever used, and I'd like to, you know, just pass it along while it's still new, so we're going to declutter this one. I also have this one from Pop Beauty, which is so pretty. It's all pink. This is the Pretty Punk palette, and it's still brand new, and I'd rather pass it along to someone while it's in new condition. So again, we are going to declutter both of those. I have this one from Too Faced. This is like one of their eyeshadow palettes. This is the Too Femme palette. This is actually so pretty. It has gorgeous like pink and pastel shades, but I bought this for a review, and I don't think that I've used it since that review, so I'm going to pass it along. I have this palette here from Morphe. This is the Coca-Cola 1971 collection. Again, this is a brand new palette. I want to keep it because the packaging is so cute, but I also want to pass it along while it's in new condition, so another one will be decluttered. I have a few palettes here from Odin's Eye. So we have, oh, I don't even know how to pronounce these, so I'm just gonna show them to you. This one is really pretty, but never used. I don't need it. This one is also absolutely gorgeous, but again, never used. I don't need it. And this one is so pretty. I love the green tones in here, but again, I don't need it. So we're going to declutter all 3 of those. I have this palette from Profusion, which I actually love. This is the Mauves palette. I am going to be keeping this. This is either like $5 or $10. Either way, it's a fantastic price, and the formulas are amazing. I love the colors in this palette, so that is the first palette that we are keeping from today's declutter. I have this one from LA Colors, the Hollow Queens. I haven't used this one. I recently got it, but while it's new and while we're going through my palettes, we're gonna go ahead and pass that one along. And let someone else enjoy it. I have a few palettes from Kaleidos. These are some super cute little quads. This one is like gray tones, and then this one is like brown tones. Truthfully, I don't need either of these. I already have some cool toned like taupey palettes that I love and use all the time, and they have a little bit more variety than those palettes, so we'll go ahead and pass those along. I have these two from Hard Candy. I actually want to keep one of these. I just don't know which one. I have Future Visions and Naked and Famous. I'm leaning towards the more neutral one. I haven't tried this formula before, so that's why I at least want to try one. So I think I will keep Naked and Famous, which is the more neutral one, and I will pass along Future Visions. I have this Flower Beauty Charlie's Angels palette. This is so pretty, but I have never seen this movie or show, so I don't have like a sentimental connection to this. I do love Drew Barrymore, and this eyeshadow right here, I remember swatching and it being so beautiful, but I just feel like the packaging is really bulky on this. I haven't used it up until this point even, so we're gonna go ahead and pass that one along. I have quite a few Glamlite palettes, and this is something that I feel is difficult for me because I love Glamlite, but I just don't use colorful eyeshadow anymore. So like, this is the Street Taco palette. I loved this palette so much. This was such a good time for me in makeup. The Viva Taco palette as well. Just all of the like the food themed Glamlite palettes. Now Glamlite does a lot of like licensed product and licensed collections where they do like collabs with Scooby-Doo or Icy or Barbie, that type of thing. But this is like OG Glamlite. Not even, I even have some more that are like even more OG, like the burger palette, the paint palette, the pizza palettes. But I think it's time that I say goodbye to these palettes because one, they are several years old. I have not used them in probably a couple years at this point, and although I want to keep them as collector pieces because like how fun are these, I don't need them. So I am going to declutter both of the taco palettes. Sorry for the change of frame. My mom actually just called me, so I was on the phone with her for a minute. So now let's get back to the declutter. Next up we have the Cherry Coke palette from Morphe. This is really pretty. Love the color story here, but I don't need it, so we're gonna pass that one along. I have the Glamlite and Michaela palette. This is actually really pretty. I love this palette. This is like probably the Glamlite palette that I would use the most, especially as of recently. So this one I'm going to keep. I have the e.l.f. Game Up palette. This is so freaking adorable. This is colorful, but I really want to give this a try, so I'm going to keep that one. I actually have this empty magnetic palette that I forgot that I had, but I don't think that I need it. I'm just not one to use like magnetic like single products and stuff. Like I like it in a palette or a compact typically, so this one I'm gonna go ahead and pass along. I have the Naked Sin palette from Urban Decay. I love this palette so much. I am definitely keeping that one. I have the Maverick palette from Revlon. This is still brand new, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass that along. I have a few of these R.E.M. Beauty eyeshadow palettes, and to be honest, I feel like I just don't really love this formula a whole lot. I've kind of gone back and forth. They're really pretty palettes and I wanted them to work for me, but I just feel like they're not my favorite. I don't know. Like I said, I've kind of flip-flopped on these, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter all three of those. And I think I have another one somewhere, but I'm sure we'll come across it. I also have this Profusion palette in the shade Citrine. I am going to keep that one for now. I have the Flower Punk palette from Kaleidos. This is super fun. I love the colors. I don't know. I feel like I don't need it. I also have the Escape Pod palette. Like, I would rather keep this palette over this one, I think. So, I love the packaging on these. I feel like they're so cool. But then I also have these Kaleidos ones. So, I have Futurism 4, which is the rainbow one. I think I'll declutter this one. And then I have Futurism 7. Ooh, that one's pretty. That one's really pretty. Okay, so we'll definitely declutter this one. I think I'm gonna come back to these. I'm not 100% sure. I'll put them in my keep pile for now. I'm gonna go through all of these, and then once I have a keep pile, I'm going to re-go through that keep pile and probably get rid of a few more. That's kind of how I've been doing these declutters, and that's just what has been working for me. So next up we have BH Cosmetics Weekend Vibes Mimosa. This color story is beautiful. I love the colors in here, and I got this for $7.99 from Marshall's. This is one that I'm going to think about, but we're going to put it in the keep pile for now. We have this Morphe palette. This is the Lisa Frank collab. This is one that is so fun, but I actually have not ever used it. I haven't, so do I declutter it? I think so. I have the pizza slice palettes from Glamlite. So we have Veggie Lovers and we have Meat Lovers. Again, these are from those OG Glamlite days. We're gonna pass them along because they are just too old at this point. I have the Raw Beauty Kristi Pure palette. Oh my gosh, it's broken. I spent like $100 on this because I bought it resale because there were so many issues with the launch, and I regret spending that much money on this. It's great and all. Love Raw Beauty Kristi, but I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. I have some of these little palettes from Hard Candy, and I definitely don't need all of them. I actually have 2 of the purple ones. So we have 2 Punk, 1 Dope, and 1 Purr. I think I'll keep Purr, and I think I'll declutter the rest of these. I don't think I need them. I have the Hot for Q Morphe palette. This one I actually am gonna keep. I think that this is a beautiful palette. Then we have the Alamar Cosmetics. This is the Reina del Caribe Volume 1. I think I'm gonna declutter this. This is super old. They have since redone the packaging, so maybe I'll get an updated one, but for now I'm going to declutter it. I also have Fuchsia from Profusion. I'm also going to keep that one. This is a highlighter palette from Pop Beauty. This is the Prismatic Pop palette in the shade Better Bear. I kind of want to keep this, but I don't need it, so we're going to declutter it. I have quite a few Morphe palettes that I want to go through. So we have the Everyday Chic palette. This one is so pretty, and I feel like I would actually use this palette, but I just never think about it. It's gorgeous. I'm gonna set that aside and we'll think about that one. I have the Mickey and Friends palette. This one is so fun, so pretty. But I don't think I need this. I think I can declutter this one. By the way, you guys can use code PAIGE for 10% off of Morphe products. This is the Day Slayer palette. This is just so old. Like, this just needs to be decluttered. Same with this one. This is Brunch Babe. It's absolutely beautiful, but again, it's just really old. So both of those will be decluttered. Then we have the 35O. This is the like redone 35O palette. This is like the Supernatural Glow one. I definitely want to keep this one, and I'm thinking about this one. We have the Constellation Sky. This was in collaboration with Pony. This is so cute and so pretty. Look at how fun that is, but it's huge. I don't need this one, so I'm going to declutter that one. And then we have the Such a Gem palette. Oh gosh, I think this is the purple one. I can open it. Yeah, this is so pretty. Absolutely stunning. But again, this is definitely on the older side, so I think it's time that I say goodbye. I've definitely had it longer than 12 months, that's for sure. So I think I will keep the 35O, and I think I will keep the 35C. I also have a few other Morphe palettes over here. We have the Truth or Bear palette. This is a really pretty neutral palette, but I have a ton of neutral palettes, so I'm going to pass that one along. I have the Morphe and Manny MUA palette. This one is one that I can probably declutter. We have the Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals palette. This is not going anywhere. I'm definitely keeping that one. We have the Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is the, what is it called? Strawberry Feels palette. Again, definitely keeping that one. I have the Jaclyn Hill palette and the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. Both of those are staying. And then I have the 35XO, which, oh, this is so pretty. Maybe I'll keep this one instead of the 35C. This is the 35C. I feel like they are, I mean, they're definitely different. Oh, you can't even see it. They're definitely different, but I think I would rather keep this one. So we're gonna keep 35XO and declutter 35C. I have the Norvina palettes. I have 2 of them still. We have this one, which is so pretty, but she needs to go. I haven't used it in who knows how long. And then I have the Norvina Volume 4, which again, I haven't used this in forever, so she needs to go. I have the Laura Lee Los Angeles Single Shadows. I just really don't ever reach for this type of format once again, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass this along. I have a few more Glamlite palettes. So we have the Pie palette. This one's actually like so pretty, and I feel like I would still potentially use those colors. And then we have the Donut palette, which these formulas are just absolutely insane. I love them so much, but I don't need them, so I think I'll declutter both of those. We have the OG Burger palette, which is very old, and you can see the like grease staining from these shadows. This just definitely needs to go. I wonder if this has a date on it. I don't think so. I wasn't sure if there was maybe like a copyright date or something on here, but I've had this for so long. So we're gonna declutter the Burger palette. I also am going to declutter the Pizza palette. This is, again, just really old, OG Glamlite days. And then we have the Paint palette, which, again, gonna go ahead and pass this along because very old. I've had these for literal years. I don't even know how many years at this point, but they all need to go. I do have the Cake palette, which this was my favorite palette from them for a really long time. And it's so pretty, and I'm considering keeping this one as well as the Ice Cream palette, which is right here. This is another really pretty one. I love both of these palettes. They are very colorful, so I'll think about those. I have the Icy palettes, so we have the red one, and we have blue Icy somewhere. I'm just not 100% sure where. I also have the, I forget what this collection is called, the one with like the cocktail collection or something. So we have the Margarita palette, which is so fun. We have the Wine palette, the Dirty Martini palette, and I know it's over here somewhere. Oh, here, the Chocolate Martini palette. So these 4 I'm going to set aside as potential maybes because I do love those, and those ones are part of like their newer collections. We also have the Scooby-Doo palettes, which these are like brand new and super fun. So I think I'm going to keep these ones for now. I have the She-Hulk palette from Urban Decay. I was really excited to try this out, but then I never used it. So since it's still brand new, we're going to declutter it. I have another Morphe palette here. Oh, I actually have a few. So these are all from the new collection. This is their holiday collection. So this is the 35XS, No Silent Nights. Super pretty. I'm feeling this palette. I also have Cabernet Blush, which is gorgeous, and then Champagne Glow, which is also gorgeous. So we're gonna come back to these, but they're gonna go in the keep pile for now. I have an Odin's Eye palette. This is gorgeous packaging. Let's see if I can open it. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Since I haven't kept any of my Odin's Eye palettes, I think I might keep this one. I have Rainforest Haze from Catrice. This is actually really pretty, a really pretty green palette. And then we have Sandy Days. That's also really pretty. I think I'll keep Sandy Days and declutter Rainforest Days. Oh, here's my other REM Beauty palette. This is like the pinky one. It's really pretty, but again, just not loving the formula. I am going to be keeping my Animal Crossing palettes. I got rid of pretty much everything else from this collection because they were like cream products, but my Animal Crossing palettes, not gonna get rid of those. I'm obsessed with Animal Crossing and I'm obsessed with those palettes. I have the Elf Cookies and Dreams palette. I have never used this before and I don't need it, so I'm gonna declutter it. I have 2 KVD palettes. We have the Lolita Por Vida palette. This is so beautiful. I have two KVD palettes. We have the Lolita Por Vida palette. This is so beautiful. I love the shimmers in there. And then I have the Edge of Reality eyeshadow palette, and this was like, oh boy, she's coming out. This is like unglued from the packaging, which I know it's supposed to be able to come out so that you can like recycle this packaging, but I just don't think that I need this palette. So it's beautiful. I love the packaging, but I don't need this, so I'm gonna declutter it. And then the Lolita Por Vida, I'm tempted to keep this, but I know that this is pretty old, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a few palettes that I know I'm not decluttering. So these are like must-haves. Nudie number 2, absolute keep. I love this one. Strawberry Dream. I love Lunar Beauty. This is a more colorful palette, but I will be keeping that one. I'm also keeping my Patrick Ta palettes. I have the, I forget what these are called, the Major Dimension Volume 2, as well as the Major Dimension Volume 1 palettes. Nude Prism is my favorite Lunar Beauty palette though. It is absolutely incredible. One of the best palettes to ever exist. Use code Paige for 10% off. My Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty. This is definitely staying, along with Mercury Retrograde. I think this is my favorite. This or Rose Quartz are my favorite Huda Beauty palettes. But I also have New Nude, which this one is absolutely stunning. I have Naughty Nude, which again, beautiful. I didn't get the palette from this year. I just couldn't justify spending the $70 on it. We have the Rose Gold Remastered palette. This is beautiful. This was actually sent to me by a subscriber, so thank you so much. I still cannot believe that. So I'm definitely keeping all of my larger Huda Beauty palettes. I have this one from Revolution Pro. This is really cute. This is the Ultimate Eye Look palette. I actually really like this palette, and the metallics are gorgeous, so I'm gonna keep that one. Here are my two Icy palettes. I'm not sure about these. I want to keep them because they are newer Glamlite. So we'll put them in the keep pile for now, but we will revisit them. I have the Candy Skies palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles. This was in collaboration with her niece Erin. Definitely gonna keep this one. I'm also going to keep the Spanglish palette from Alamar Cosmetics. I love this palette. I think it's so beautiful. This one is really new. This is the 12 Days of Lunar palette from Lunar Beauty. This one I'm going to keep. I'm really nervous to go through my Natasha Denona palettes because I know I need to get rid of some, which is gonna hurt, but I'm gonna maybe wait like a couple more minutes. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I have these two from Buxom. I have Diva Dolly and Darling Dolly. These are actually so pretty, and I want to try these out, so I think I'm gonna keep those. We will definitely be decluttering some of the ones that I said I was gonna keep, just so you guys know. Because I'm keeping too many. I really want to cut down my eyeshadow palette collection like a lot. We have the Life's a Drag palette and the Life's a Drag facelift palette. This, I don't think the original Life's a Drag is sold anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this and just keep the facelift palette, which I purchased. I love this so much. I think it's fantastic, and I love that there's more shades in here than the original one. I'm going to keep this little, oh, this is a face palette. I knew that. I'm going to keep this face palette from Jaclyn Cosmetics, but it's going to go in my face palette drawer. I do have a Jaclyn Cosmetics palette somewhere. Oh, here it is. This is the Luxe Legacy palette. I will absolutely be keeping this. My Tati Beauty palette is not going anywhere. I know that this is no longer available and it breaks my heart, but I love this palette so much, and I can't get rid of this. I need to keep it. Let's do a few more, and then we'll revisit my keep pile, re-go through those, and then I will save the rest for part 2. Let's do my larger ColourPop palettes because I have a feeling I'm gonna keep most of them. I have this Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. This is the Nouveau palette. This is pretty new to my collection, so I'm gonna keep this one. So we have Stone Cold Fox. This is staying. We have Bare Necessities. This is also staying. We have So Jaded. Again, not going anywhere. And then we have Gone Matte. again, not going anywhere. So these 4 I'm keeping. Oh, here's another one. This is the Getting Fresh palette. This is absolutely beautiful. Again, we are keeping that one. I think the rest of these I'm going to slide aside so that I can make room for the ones that I said that I was keeping, and then we will kind of re-go through those, and then for part 2 I will finish going through the rest of these palettes, which there's still quite a few. I think I'm gonna keep both of these Naked palettes. We have Naked Honey, which is gorgeous, and then we have the Ultraviolet Naked palette. I also have the Naked Wild West palette, which I also want to keep that one. So far, these are all of the ones that I said that I was gonna keep, but this is too many, so let's try this again. Okay, absolute must-haves. I am gonna keep my Animal Crossing ones. Those are an absolute keep. Same with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. Same with these 2 Dolly palettes. I think I'll declutter the Purr palette from Hard Candy. I just don't think that I need it. Revolution Pro Ultimate Eye Look palette. I am going to keep this one. Huda Beauty New Nude, Mercury Retrograde, Rose Quartz, Rose Gold Remastered, all definitely staying. 12 Days of Lunar, Spanglish palette, and Candy Skies definitely staying. Kaleidos Futurism 7 I'm gonna declutter. Kaleidos Flower Punk I'm gonna declutter, and then the Escape Pod palette I'm gonna keep this one. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna keep this one. Elf Game Up and Naked Sin palette are absolute keeps. Glamlite Michaela palette I will definitely be keeping. Profusion Mauves I will definitely be keeping. I think I'll pass along this Hard Candy one. I just don't think I need it. I also want to keep Citrine and Fuchsia from Profusion. Nude Prism from Lunar Beauty, absolute keep. Both of my Patrick Tas are must-haves. Nudie number 2 is a must-have, and Strawberry Dreams is also a must-have. 9H Hot for Hue, I will be keeping this one. The Weekend Vibes Mimosa palette, I'm thinking I don't need this one, even though I want to keep it. The colors are beautiful. I need to get rid of more, so we're gonna declutter this one. My Naked palettes. So we have Urban Decay Wild West, we have Naked Honey, and we have Naked Ultraviolet. I don't know. I need to think about these. I want to keep them all, but I don't know. I don't know if I need them. My ColourPop ones we're gonna keep. So we have Getting Fresh, Gone Matte, So Jaded, Bare Necessities, and Stone Cold Fox. I think the Tati Beauty one I might put in my makeup memory box because this isn't available anymore, and this is really special to me, so I think I'll declutter it from my makeup collection. So we're gonna put that in the declutter pile, but I think I'll save it in my makeup memory box. Jaclyn Hill we're gonna keep. Life's a Drag Facelift we're gonna keep, and Naughty Nude we're gonna keep. I have lots of Morphe and Glamlite left. So let's do Morphe first. Oh, here's Jaclyn Cosmetics, the Strawberry palette. We're gonna keep this one. I also have this Odin's Eye palette, which I really do want to keep this and try it out. All right, Icy palettes. I don't think there was a day where I could have seen myself decluttering these, but I think it's time. I don't feel the need to have a solid blue and a solid red palette, so we're gonna pass them along. I know I said I was gonna do Morphe first, but I guess we're gonna do Glamlite first. The Scooby-Doo palettes, these are brand new, so I do want to keep these. They're so beautiful and fun, and I had a good time using those, so I'll keep those. Chocolate Martini palette is a must. Dirty Martini palette is a must. The wine palette and the margarita palette. I'm thinking I'm gonna keep all of those. The ice cream palette I'm definitely going to keep, but I think I can declutter the cake palette. Again, never thought I would see the day, but we're gonna say goodbye to the cake palette. And then we have Morphe, Divine Neutrals, Jaclyn Hill is staying, OG Jaclyn Hill palette, and Volume 2 are all 3 staying. 35O Supernatural Glow I'm going to keep. And the 35XO I'm going to keep. Oh, I have this Catrice Sandy Days. I want to keep this. I want to try this formula out. I haven't gotten to try it out, and I love Catrice. And then for these, I think I will declutter the big eyeshadow palette, and I'll keep the 2 smaller ones. And then for the Naked palettes, I think I'm going to keep all 3 of them for now. And then maybe I'll work my way through my makeup collection and decide after I use these how I feel about them. But I think for now we're gonna keep these 3. So let me give you the numbers really quick. So far I am keeping 56 eyeshadow palettes, which I know is still a lot, but we'll probably go through them again once more in part 2. So keeping 56 and decluttering 64. So definitely past that 50-50 point. We're getting rid of over half of my eyeshadow palettes so far. We still have all of these to go through in part 2, so make sure you guys are subscribed so that you don't miss it. You can also turn on post notifications, but that is going to be it for today's video. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow in Vlogmas Day 21.